Ash Ketchup's everyone's favourite 10-year-old. He has explored many different regions, catching Pokémon, winning gym battles, and taking part in each region's leagues. But was he really a good trainer, or was it just good luck? Well, it's time to find out. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, remakes of Pokemon Yellow with the mechanics of Pokemon Go added into a full game, and the game we're going to find out just how good he really was. Let's Go Pikachu starts you off with a Pikachu, so that's the game we'll be using for the run. Now for our run, we will be following the same path as what Ash took. So first things first, before we're even able to tackle our first gym, we need to do a bit of catching. The first Pokemon Ash ever caught was a Caterpie, so off to Viridian Forest, where we do the exact same thing. Now for the second Pokemon, that is actually a Pidgeotto. However, there isn't actually any spawns pre-Gym 1 for a Pidgeotto, so instead we're just going to have to catch ourselves a Pidgey and evolve them into the Pidgeotto. Luckily, this is not the only early level grinding we have to do, as we also need to evolve Caterpie into Metapod, and then from there into a Butterfree. So after a fair amount of catching Weedle in Viridian Forest, both Butterfree and Pidgeotto are now ours. Time to take on Brock. Due to being a fair bit overleveled thanks to evolving Pidgey into Pidgeotto, the fight is a breeze. Butterfree is able to take out Geodude with just a few hits of Gust, barely taking any damage in return. When Onix comes out, we manage to hit a few more Gusts, bringing him down to a quarter health before falling to a fatal Rock Throw. Pikachu then comes out to finish off the job with a single double kick, winning us the fight and the Boulder Badge. Compared to Ash, we actually earned it instead of just being given it out of the goodness of their hearts. Between defeating Brock, earning the Boulder Badge, to then going to take on Misty, there isn't actually any additional evolutions or catchings we have to do on the way, so we just make our way through Mount Rune to Cerulean City to take on Misty. Misty starts off the fight with a Psyduck, and we follow with a Butterfree. Exchanging water guns and Psybeams until Psyduck falls. With Butterfree left at half health, Butterfree manages to get one Psybeam off on Starmie, barely scratching them before going down to a Scald. We send out Pikachu for the clear up. Hitting a Zippy Zappy brings him down to red, and while we do get hit by a Scald in return, and it does burn, it doesn't matter. As a Thundershock the next turn takes them out, winning our second gym badge of the Cascade Badge. With the Cascade Badge now in hand, we've got some more collecting to do. The original 3 Kanto starters are first off on our list, and luckily enough they are easy to find. First up is Bulbasaur. Within Cerulean City, we can enter a lady's house who is looking for a new home for her Bulbasaur. Showing her we have caught at least 30 Pokemon gives her enough confidence to entrust her Bulbasaur in our care. One of the 3 starters down. Next up is Charmander. Past Nugget Bridge, there is a trainer who is struggling to look after their Charmander and would like us to look after them in their stead. Of course we have to prove we're able to by having caught at least 50 Pokemon, which thanks to our XP grind at the start of the game, we are more than qualified for. 2 out of the 3 starters are now ours. It's now time for Squirtle. Down in Viridian City, there is a police officer who managed to catch a mischievous Squirtle who was up to no good. Once more they ask us to take them off their hand, but only if we have proven that we have caught at least 60 Pokemon. Much like before, the early gravel grinding helped with this. We have caught more than enough, and the final starter is now ours and added to the team. However, there is still one more Pokemon we actually need to catch before we can move it on to the next gym, and that is Krabby. The only place we are actually able to catch Krabby is over on Route 10, however to get there we first need to get ourselves card. So onto the SSN we go, and fighting through the different trainers in each room for as much XP as possible, we are eventually stopped by Gary on the second floor who challenges us to a battle to see how much we've improved. Gary starts the battle off with Pidgeotto and we send out Pikachu. Before Pidgeotto's even able to move, they go down to one hit from a Thunderbolt. Eevee is next out, but they are easy to deal with, by 2 double kicks, only getting dealt a fraction of health by a bite in return. Oddish is their final Pokemon. After dealing a small amount of damage with Pikachu, we decide to give Charmander a run for his money, swapping them in. However, they are hit by a sleep powder on the way in. We end up having a 2-turn sleep, and we are hit by acid each turn, but it's not enough to stop Charmander, managing to get 2 embers for the KO, holding strong with 2 HP. With that, Gary is defeated. With Gary now put back in his place, we make our way to the captain's quarters, where we find a sick sea captain. But despite him being sick, he still teaches us, well, more specifically Pikachu, the secret technique of Chop Down, making shrubs in the road no longer a worry. With this new technique in hand, we are now able to make our way back to Cerulean City, past the shrubs and onwards to Route 10, where we catch ourselves a Krabby, who then gets immediately boxed, just like Ash's actions. With all our new Pokemon caught, we make our way back to Cerulean once more to take on Lieutenant Surge, the 3rd gym leader. They start off with Voltorb and us with Charmander. Unfortunately, Charmander is no match and quickly goes down to the Voltorb, only managing to scratch them a little. We then send out Pikachu to try and finish off what they started. Exchanging some Zippy Zappies for a Swift and a Thunderbolt, Voltorb is defeated, with Pikachu just being above half health. Next up is Magnemite, and is short work for Pikachu, going down in 2 double kicks and dealing no damage thanks to missing their Sonic Boom. Now for Surge's Raichu, he's ace. Raichu hits a quick attack, and we return with a Thunderbolt. The turn then repeats itself, bringing Pikachu down to just 14 health, and Raichu just below half. We get another Thunderbolt off, bringing Raichu into the red before succumbing to their own Thunderbolt. Bulbasaur is then up to finish off the job. They're hit by a not very effective Thunderbolt, but take down the Raichu with a takedown, winning us the battle and the Thunder Badge. After scoring our 3rd badge, it is now unfortunately time to say goodbye to Butterfree, releasing them back into the wild during their breeding season with their one true love. They served us well, but this is unfortunately how the run must go. Now for the next gym. However, this is where things become a bit more difficult. If this was a normal playthrough, the next gym would be heading over to Saffron City, but this is Ash and had no reason to be efficient and would do things in whatever order they would like to do. Their 4th gym badge was the Marsh badge, awarded over in Saffron City, which would normally be the 6th badge in most people's playthroughs. Thankfully though, after completing the 2nd gym, in Let's Go you are able to free roam most of the map and tackle any gym in any order other than the 8th one, due to HMs being replaced by secret techniques, which are not locked behind any gym badges. Completing Gym 6 before 4 and 5 is definitely possible, but we still need to do a lot of story to unlock the ability to enter the gym. First, we make our way to Lavender Town. Here we find a Cubone wanting to search for their mother inside Pokemon Tower. As we make our way up Pokemon Tower, we are met by a mysterious entity blocking the route, causing us to have to turn back until we have something to identify what it is. With all we can currently do at Pokemon Tower now completed, our next stop is to make our way to Saffron City, where Cubone has been taken by Team Rocket. Inside the game corner in Saffron City, we uncover Team Rocket's secret hideout, fighting through grunt after grunt until we eventually make it to their boss Giovanni. The fight was tough, mainly thanks to not going back and healing before taking him on. Persian starts off the battle by knocking out Pikachu straight away with a fake out, sending out Krabby as fodder, who for some reason we had on us, I don't remember why. We then use a revive to bring Pikachu back. Sending them back in, we hit a Thunderbolt, bringing Persian down to below half health and paralysing them as well. Unfortunately, the paralysation doesn't matter to Persian as it hits a slash, bringing Pikachu down to just 1 HP. But luckily we outspeed and finish him off with another Thunderbolt. Rhyhorn is up next. As revived Squirtle, Pikachu goes down to a Drill Run. We send in Squirtle, hitting a Water Gun dealing just above half health, but go down to a Drill Run. Charmander then comes out and we use them to revive Squirtle once again, and Charmander also goes down to a Drill Run, but this time around Squirtle is sent out and finishes the job off with a Water Gun, winning us this dodgy battle. For defeating Giovanni, he lets us take the Sylph Scope. Returning to Pokemon Tower, we can then use the Sylph Scope to reveal what the mysterious entities truly are. Just a bunch of ghost types, mainly Ghastly and a few Haunters here and there. Since we have now revealed the entities, we are free to climb the rest of the tower. Just before we make it to the top of the tower though, an angry spirit of Marowak stops us in our path, but Cubone comes out to save the day. Marowak turns out to be Cubone's mother, and upon seeing them safe and sound, the spirit is laid to rest, calming the whole tower. Atop the tower, Team Rocket is actually harassing Mr. Fuji, so we step in to help out, easily wiping out Jesse and James in a double battle. And for our troubles, we are given a Pokeflute, which can wake any Pokemon from their sleep. I'm sure it will come in handy sooner or later. The story continues, bringing us to Saffron City, where Team Rocket have taken over most of the city and have launched an attack on the Silphco. As the same with any other Pokemon game, it's up to us, a 10-year-old, to take on an evil organisation and stop them once and for all. We take our time storming Silphco, making sure to fight as many grunts as possible for as much XP as we can to save future XP grinding sessions. Plus, extra Pokédollars is always nice. Once all the grunts have been defeated, we make our way to the chairman's office, where he is being questioned by Team Rocket's leader Giovanni. But being the brave boy we are, we step up and challenge them to a battle. Persian starts out with Fake Out, but 2 Thunderbolts is all it takes to knock them out. Although Pikachu is left clinging with 20 HP. Rhyhorn is out next, and we manage to scratch them with a floaty float before falling to a Drill Run. Squirtle takes centre stage, a single Bubble Beam. Rhyhorn is out. Finally, Nidoqueen is last. Exchanging Bubble Beams and Slams, Squirtle comes out victorious, thanks to a few crucial speed drops, allowing them to outspeed for the final KO. With Giovanni defeated once more, Team Rocket are forced to retreat, leaving both Silphco and Saffron City. For helping stop Team Rocket, the chairman gives us a Master Ball, which I'm sure will find a use at some point, but when I don't know. With all the story out of the way, we are now free to finally take on the Saffron City Gym for our 4th badge. At least, that's what I thought. It turns out we need to actually have a Pokemon reach level 45 before we're able to enter. So another XP session later, we reach 45 and can return once more to take on Sabrina. Sabrina was a challenge, failing our first attempt. But this is how our second attempt goes. Mr. Mime sets up Light Screen, while Bulbasaur manages to get off a Double Edge, unfortunately going down to a Psychic the next turn. Squirtle comes out next, but only manages to get off a Bite, bringing Mr. Mime to half health before it goes down. It's now Pikachu's time. A Thunderbolt followed by a Quick Attack knocks out Mr. Mime, although we are hit by a Psychic dealing just over half health. Next up is Slowbro. Thunderbolt deals 3/4 of their health, but unfortunately as Surf knocks out Pikachu. We then use our fodder to revive Pikachu, who comes back to finish off Slowbro with another Thunderbolt. Jinx is dealt a Thunderbolt and misses a lovely kiss. Another Thunderbolt brings him down to red, but Pikachu is knocked out with a Psychic. To seek revenge, we send out Charmander. We're hit by a lovely kiss and are unfortunately put to sleep. The next turn, a Psychic brings us down to just 14 HP, but luck is on our side, and Charmander wakes up, hitting a Flamethrower for the KO. It's now time for Sabrina's final Pokemon, Alakazam. And this time around, let's just watch how it plays out. With Sabrina now defeated, the Marsh badge, our 4th gym badge, is now ours. During the time between Gym 4 and 5, Ash catches a wild Primeape. However, there aren't actually wild Primates in the whole of Let's Go, so instead we catch ourselves a Mankey who is then evolved into the Primeape, before making our way to Erica, the Celadon City's gym leader. The fight is a piece of cake. Thanks to doing our gyms out of game progression order, it allows us to pretty much one-shot her whole team with Charmander's flamethrowers. With the Rainbow Badge now obtained, our next step of following Ash's journey means it's time to retire Primeape, as he is off to become a great Pokemon boxer. Meanwhile, over in Pokemon Mansion, we catch ourselves a Mug. But just like Krabby, they are sent straight to the Professor Oak to spend the rest of their days there. Making our way to Fuchsia City, we go to tackle the next gym. However, we are met with another problem. In order to challenge the gym, we have to have collected at least 50 different Pokemon. So, time to go around each route and collect what Ash would have missed just so we can take on the gym. With our 50th entry, the gym opens up. Koga, the poison type master. And they are no match for Pikachu, managing to sweep through their whole team with Thunderbolt, shrugging off being poisoned, holding on for dear life at 1 HP, and winning us the gym battle. With Koga defeated, the Soul Badge is now ours. And we have a couple more new objectives to complete before we can make our way to Gym 7. The first is Tauros. Within the anime, there is actually a banned episode outside of Japan where Ash and friends make their way to the Safari Zone where he manages to catch 30 Tauroses. I believe one runs in front of every ball he throws. So that means it's time to catch 30. But keeping true to the show, as it's banned outside the Asia and this is an English copy, no Tauros will be shown to you in this video. During the time before Gym 7, we also get to finally evolve Charmander into Charmeleon, and then into Charizard. Blaine the hot-headed Quizmaster. Magma versus Squirtle. Confuse Ray leads to confusion, but Bubble Beam pushes through. Flamethrower for a Bubble Beam. And the same the next turn, but this time Magma is down. Next up is Arcanine, but Squirtle goes down to an Outrage. Pikachu comes out strong with a Thunderbolt, dealing almost half of Arcanine's health. We get hit by an Outrage, but Pikachu lives, and Arcanine is now confused. Another Thunderbolt brings him down to red, but Arcanine fights past the confusion and hits a Fire Blast KO in Pikachu. Pidgeotto comes out to finish the job with a Quick Attack. Blaine's next Pokemon is Rapidash. 2 Fire Blasts take out Pidgeotto, but not before they are able to deal just under half damage with an Air Slash. Charizard comes out for their first major battle, knocking out Rapidash with a single wing attack. Finally, Blaine's last Pokemon of Ninetales. Exchanging wing attacks for Fire Blast, Charizard proves their strength, winning the fight and the 7th Gym Badge. All we have to do now is return to Viridian City for the last Gym Badge. Unfortunately, the gym leader still isn't there. So we return to Professor Oak to see if they know anything. Turns out, they don't. But as we leave their lab, a little girl informs us that the 8th gym leader has returned, so it's time for us to take them on. The 8th gym leader is none other than Team Rocket's leader Giovanni, a man who we have beaten a few times already, but this time they are at full strength. They start off with Dugtrio and us Charizard. A few flamethrowers is all it takes to bring them down, getting hit by a couple of sucker punches in return, but nothing we can't handle. Next out is Rhydon. We get out a single flamethrower before they take us down with a rock slide. It's now Squirtle's time to shine, and that she does. Bubble Beam knocks out Rhydon. Nidoqueen is their next in line, and an Earthquake brings Squirtle down to 58 HP, but in return a Bubble Beam deals just under half damage. The next turn, Earthquake knocks us out. Pidgeotto comes out next, but only deals a sliver of health before going down. Pikachu is then used as fodder to revive Charizard before falling to an Earthquake. Charizard finishes off Nidoqueen with a flamethrower. Time for Giovanni's final Pokemon, Nidoqueen. And once more Charizard proves their worth, tanking through crushes after crushes while hitting flamethrower after flamethrower, winning us the victory with just 14 HP. The Earth badge, the 8th and final badge, is now ours, and it's time to go towards the Elite Four. Before we actually take on the Elite Four though, there is still one more thing we need to do, and that is evolve Krabby into Kingler. With that out of the way, a bit more leveling to update our team on par with the Elite Four, it's time to take them on. First is Lorelei, the Ice-type Master. 2 Thunderbolts from Pikachu take out Dewgong with ease, only getting scratched by a Waterfall in return. Next, out comes Jinx, and we swap into Charizard, dodging a Blizzard on the way in. Flamethrower then one-shots Jinx. Cloyster is next in line, and once more Charizard does their job with a single flamethrower. Lapras is next up, and a flamethrower brings him down to just above half HP, and they miss a Hydro Pump aimed towards us. Another flamethrower brings Lapras down to red, but this time another Hydro Pump hits. But being the champ that Charizard are, they hold on strong. Earthquake then knocks out Lapras the next turn. Now for Lorelei's final Pokemon, Slowbro. Swapping into Pikachu, we dodge a Surf coming our way. We then trade a Thunderbolt for a Psychic, leaving Slowbro in the red and Pikachu at 32 HP. But the next turn is the end. Another Thunderbolt finishes off Slowbro, defeating Lorelei, the first member of the Elite Four. Bruno is member number 2, the Fighting type Master. Bruno starts off with Onyx and we send out Squirtle. While Onyx sets up Stealth Rocks, Squirtle returns with a Bubble Beam, knocking them out. Out next is Hitmonchan. Before going down to their Thunder Punches, Squirtle manages to get off a couple of Bubble Beams, bringing Hitmonchan to over half health. To take revenge, we send out Pidgeotto. An Air Slash in exchange for an Ice Punch, followed by a Quick Attack KOs Hitmonchan. Hitmonlee is next out. Hitting an Air Slash brings him down to just above half, but a Rock Slide KOs Pidgeotto. To finish off Hitmonlee, we send out Charizard with a Wing Attack. Machamp is next up in line and we manage to get ourselves a Wing Attack off, dealing 3/4 of their health, but they hit us with a super effective Rock Slide, finishing off Charizard. On our team, our next Pokemon out is Pikachu, and Thundershock knocks out Machamp before they have a chance to react. Bruno's final Pokemon of Poliwrath is No Trouble. The first Thunderbolt brings him down to red, and then they return fire with a superpower, bringing Pikachu to red. However, it's not enough, as the next turn another Thunderbolt KOs Poliwrath, securing the victory. 2 members now defeated. Agatha, the 3rd member of the Elite Four, and a Ghost type Master, despite only having 2 Ghost types on their whole team. The battle starts off with Charizard staring down Arbok. We hit an Earthquake, leaving Arbok with just 1/3 of their health left, but are hit by a glare, paralysing Charizard. Not that it matters, as the next turn Arbok falls down to a Flamethrower. Out next is Weezing. Hitting an Earthquake brings them down to just above half, and they return with a Thunderbolt, leaving Charizard with about 1/4 of their health remaining. The turn then repeats itself. This time Weezing is left in red and Charizard is knocked out. Pikachu then comes out as a replacement, finishing off Weezing with their own Thunderbolt. Next is Gengar. Floaty Float deals half damage, but Sludge Bomb deals over half to us. Another Floaty Float unfortunately doesn't KO, and Gengar is left with just a fraction of health remaining, and follows with a Sludge Bomb and taking Pikachu out for the count. Pidgeotto then comes out, dodging a Will-O-Wisp and finishing off Gengar with an Air Slash. Agatha's next Pokemon is Gengar number 2. Sludge Bomb does over half damage to Pidgeotto, and an Air Slash only does about 1/4 in return. Gengar then goes for another Sludge Bomb, only this time Pidgeotto holds on for dear life on 1 HP, returning fire with an Air Slash, leaving Gengar with about half health remaining. Pidgeotto then hangs on once more again with 1 HP and gets a Roost off, bringing them back up to a healthy amount of health. Although it doesn't matter, as the next turn a Sludge Bomb KOs them. We then send out Squirtle, who manages to get off a bite, bringing Gengar into the red, before going down themselves. Klinger is then used to revive and restore Pikachu to full health, and out comes Pikachu, finishing off Gengar with a Thunderbolt. And now Agatha's final Pokemon, Golbat. And they are no match for Pikachu, finishing off with once again a single Thunderbolt. Agatha is defeated and the third member is down. Lance, the Dragon-type monster, and the final member of the Elite Four. And honestly, this was the easiest of the lot. Pikachu manages to one-shot the first three members of his team with a Thunderbolt. The Charizard goes down to 2 Thunderbolts, and misses a Hyper Beam in between thanks to a perfectly timed shout. And for their final Pokemon of Dragonite, Pikachu hits a Thunderbolt once more, dealing about a quarter of their health but goes down to an Outrage. We then send out Charizard to seek revenge, who hits a Dragon Pulse, bringing Dragonite down to red. Outrage then hits Charizard, dealing over half of their health, but leaves Dragonite confused. However, this makes no difference as Charizard outspeeds and with a final Dragon Pulse puts an end to the battle. The final member of the Elite Four is now defeated, and all that is left between us and the champion title is the newly appointed champion, Yari. And for this fight, well, we have live audio. It's not much, but it's there, so let the final battle begin. They do Mega Evolve, but... we are not able to Mega Evolve because Ash never did. It will most likely outspeed. It might not actually. No, it definitely does because I swear it double speed with the Mega Evolution. Never mind, we still outspeed. It's fine. Oh, they do use items. I assume they would go into Marowak next. Alright, it doesn't go into my room, which she's probably going to set up Reflect? It goes for a solar beam. Okay, we should be fine because that's going to do like no damage to us. What's the chance of Thunder will hit? 70% chance to hit. Slow bro? For surf? Nice out the light screen. I think we're just Dragon Pulse in, doing as much damage as we can. Because it's a risky switch. That's fine, that's completely fine. Now we go back into Pikachu. We should outspeed. And I think this will KO. Yep. I'm going to assume Marowak will be next up. No, Rapidash. Quick attack with Airbex Poison Jab. Thunderbolt, yes. There's no point switching. Quick attack with Airbex. You will outspeed Squirtle, but I don't think you can KO them. Nice. We can probably stay in. I don't think anything can KO us in one hit. Okay, no, yeah, we've got this. Squirtle's got this in. It's just gonna evolve until I do anything. We don't. Yeah, crit might KO us actually. What are ice beams are more effective? Never mind. No evolving. And there we have it. The champion title is ours. Ash has beaten the Kanto League and proved that although his team may be unconventional in some areas, it's still enough to become the very best. This was a fun challenge and definitely had some difficult battles in it. Who knows, it might be fun to try out this Ash challenge in some of the other games and regions. If that's something you want to see, just let me know down below. But for now, that is the end of the video. If you have any other challenge suggestions, let me know in the comment sections below. I know you hear it all the time, but commenting, liking the video and subscribing really does help. And it also lets me know this is something you have enjoyed. And with that, I hope you enjoyed, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.